we're live! Yes! We are back for another episode of the FocusFightFinish podcast, and I am thrilled, nay, excited, nay, over the moon to introduce to you our guest of the day, and possibly even more, Danny Mabley. What's up, Danny Mabley? How you doing, man?
What's happening, man?
Dude, it's let's just pretend like we haven't been talking for the last 45 minutes together.
Yeah.
How are you
absolutely.
doing, buddy? Nice to hear from you.
Any technical difficulties whatsoever?
We've been having a shit ton of technical difficulties. This to take down all the walls
on this podcast.
It is 1 o'clock. We've been trying to do this since like 12:20. You know what? It's part of the game. It's part of the game. So you were a guest on the show a few weeks ago, and the people loved you. The people have spoken. We had a great time together, and we just decided, hey, why not? Why don't we do this one mo again? You know,
only once, Tony.
You know what? And that's when we're like, do we really only want to do this once? Why don't we make this a flippin' series? So you know what? Once a month, you're back here. We're checking in. We're talking about dad life. We're talking about weight loss. We're going to see how each other's doing, keep each other accountable. It's going to be our own little like dad accountability session. You know?
Yeah. We're starting the CheckIn Series, and me and Tony kind of chatted about this before we started this, and we will also want it to be a safe accountability space for everyone listening. So obviously, if you're listening via podcast, then you can't comment. But if you go check us out on the YouTubes on Tony's wonderful Focus Fight Finish channel, leave a comment, kind of just like saying how you're doing, how your wins, your losses, and maybe we can just check in now and then, try and respond to a few here and there, and just kind of set this safe space for accountability. And because there's like you actually talked about this in a previous podcast, as far as like not everyone has that support person, that support group, right?
Dude,
and you were like,
the
hey,
support's huge.
If you want me to be that person, then like reach out. So this is a way for kind of us both to come together and do that and create that for you guys. And so I'm huge thank you to Tony for allowing me to come on and do that. And I'm excited for it, man.
Dude, I'm excited that you even wanted to come on. You know what I mean? First of all, I was excited that like you and John wanted to both come on just once. And the fact that you're like, yeah, you know what? Why don't we just make it happen every month? I'm like, hell yeah, dude. Like, this is sick. This is so sick. I think the more perspective on this whole freaking weight loss thing that we have, that we're going through, the more perspective that's out there, especially for people that are struggling, because you and I have both well documented our struggles with our weight loss journey, the ups and the downs, and I think that's so important, because there's so much shit that happens between the before and after pictures that everybody posts, and it's like, those are great. No hate to anybody that posts those. I post those. But there's so much more to it than like, this awesome, snapshot of a transformation. There's so much more.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think it's so important to talk about, dude. And that support is really like the key to what this show is going to be about. Like Danny and I are both going to be going through the comments, through the DMs, like whatever we need to talk about. I'm thinking of a way to have other people on, like maybe like a video, like submit videos, or like to jump on a conversation with us. I don't know really how it's going to work. I'll figure that out, or we'll figure that out. But like, just know that this, like you said, this is going to be a safe space for you. So if you're listening and you need a couple of thick dads to help you through this, couple of thick daddies to help you through this, then look no further.
A couple of fatty daddies, you know what I'm talking about? Yo, is that the
dude?
name?
If we ever, if this podcast, if this podcast ever struggles so much, and we're just like, you know what, we're not doing enough. Let's start an OnlyFans. you better believe that the
Yeah.
name of our OnlyFans is going to be Fatty Daddies. You know? Oh my God.
Oh, oh. I'm okay. I'm
Fatty
okay. All right,
Daddies.
let's reel it in. Let's reel it in.
All right. All right.
Yeah. So I guess hey, you usually you start these all off. So I'm gonna start with asking you a question.
Whoa,
How's the
dude.
last?
Hey,
How's the
hold
last?
on. That's
How's the last
wild.
month been?
The last month has been great, man. So literally, by the time that everyone hears this, I will have wrapped up my Relentless 100, which is what I've been kind of focused on, literally for the last 100 days.
Hmm.
Today, when you're listening to this, the day that we're recording this, this is my day 99. So
Ooh.
I'm literally right at the end. Tomorrow's the
Yeah.
last day, so that just means I'm about to just start pigging out nonstop. I'm just gaining it all back, baby. Let's go. um, I am not doing that. I'm probably I'm doing well. I think this 100-day stint that I've done has been the easiest 100-day stint I've done. This is the fourth time I've done this. This is the first time I've ever called it the Relentless 100. But yeah, I honestly I feel really good. I mean, I'm tired all the time because dad life. But other than that, honestly, I feel really good, man. I feel really, for the first time in a long time, I feel like okay, I'm okay with this being gradual. I'm okay with this taking some more time than I want it to, and it's just this is the way my life is going to be forever, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with seeing this through long term. Whereas as I think before, I was like, I just need a sprint for the next 45 days. I need a sprint for the last 50 days of this 100-day challenge that I'm doing. I need to sprint for this. And this 100 days has been different in that I got hurt in the middle of it, and so I needed to kind of shift my priorities around. Rather than what was supposed to happen is on Sunday I was supposed to run a half marathon. That is not happening. My left foot is still jacked up, and I don't know what I did, but my right knee is a little weird right now. My right knee is a bad knee that I have, and yeah, it's just I had to switch my perspective around mid Relentless 100, and I switched to strength training, which I've never done before, to put a sole focus on strength training, and I freaking love it, dude. I feel myself getting so much stronger, and it is it is kind of addicting. I'm absolutely in love with strength training. So, yeah, man, that's
That's awesome.
that's the longest way to say I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Where do you think your biggest win has been in the last month? You know what I mean? Like something that you've overcame, or just seeing something come to fruition, like whatever.
Yeah, man. Going on vacation and sticking to the plan.
Hell
I
yeah.
went on
Hell yeah.
vacation. Yeah, dude. Any fatty out there will tell you. Any fatty daddy out there will tell you that vacations. But for someone on a health journey, vacations are just huge roadblocks in the process. And sometimes those are good things, sometimes those are bad things. Everyone has a different opinion on it. Some people are like, "Oh, you're on vacation, just live your best life and just do whatever you want, and don't worry about it." I don't believe in that, because I feel like I shouldn't. For me, I didn't want a vacation to just make an excuse to just go full bore and just be like, "Oh, throw everything out the window. Let's, just go hard for 4 days." I didn't want to do that, mainly because I know how I was going to feel at the end of those 4 days,
Yeah.
the family was having pizza and burgers and drinking and wine and beers, and I was meeting a bunch of family, and they're from the East Coast, and they're they got the New York accents, and they're throwing down pizza, and I'm like, "Oh, I just want to be a part of this." But the thing, and I think my biggest win was I was a part of it, because I was still there. I just wasn't eating the pizza. I was eating my own food that I brought. I brought a I mean, honestly, I just brought my Ice Age meals. I was planning on like prepping some food. I didn't have time. I just brought a bunch of Ice Age meals.
sponsor.
Speaking of which, if you're looking for a nutritious meal, I just brought Ice Age meals and I ate those, but I was still a part of the conversation, and so that was my biggest win. As I stuck to the plan, and I tried things here and there, but for the most part, I absolutely won that vacation, and I still had a ton of fun. So you don't need to go ham when you go on vacation, in my opinion.
No, I think that's a good thing about us doing this podcast together, is because although we've come to learn recently, we are very similar dudes. We also have some like differencing opinions. And like I don't think I'm on the opposite spectrum of you, but I think I'm a bit more. To me, it's like about finding that balance between enjoying a vacation and then not having over restriction, which to me, like for me personally in my life, when I've gone in the past, saying to myself, you are not going to, have this because you can enjoy without, has like been tough for me and has like caused almost some like overconsumption to like compensate. And so for me, it's been having to find like a balance between like, yes, like I can have some, but doing so in a way that like, okay, I know this certain food, I can't have that because as soon as it starts, it's gone. You know what I mean? Like chips, pizza for me too. If there's enough there for me to consume well past everyone else consuming, then it's just going to happen. So I'm like, okay, I can't have that, but maybe there's like another thing I can have that I can find some balance in. That's been where I've found success. And where like, I think that it's cool to have kind of, different perspectives as far as like the gist of it is like where you're at and what you need to be doing for yourself may be different than someone else. Right. And so although both of us are in the same journey, slightly different mindsets may have a benefit or a non-benefit in their own way.
Oh, for sure, dude, for sure. And that is the best thing about us doing this is there's no one way to do this journey. There's not, there's multiple ways and everyone's different. I'm of the mindset of like, you're
a bit more hardcore than I am. Just a little bit.
I'm a little crazy. I'm a little, I'm a little nutty. I'm much more, on the spectrum of David Goggins than like I resonate with that man so much. Like the way he looks at life, the way he looks at other people, the way he looks at himself, the way he talks to himself. I'm not as hardcore because he's a machine, but I definitely resonate with that messaging more, and that messaging gets me up out of bed more than like today we're gonna love ourselves. Like I struggle with that, but I don't know if it's healthy or not. I don't think I'm doing it 100% right, and like this vacation thing
always improve, right? Like. Yeah, I would say that like I've been where you're at in the past, and then I've also, I would say more recently been too comfortable, and we talked about that kind of last podcast, right? It's like finding that balance in between those two areas where like where you need restriction and where you need to kind of amp yourself up, and you also know where you need to love yourself and also have some a bit looser boundaries. And man, I think that balance is the thing that's going to take the longest for most people to follow, find out and discover.
Yeah. I do want to talk about how your last month was, but first, since we're on this topic, what is what is your thought process on like you mentioned comfort? I have a sign behind me that says "Comfort is a slow death."
Yeah,
that is one of my favorite quotes, and it's applied to so much more than just weight loss. Like I apply that to my career. I apply that to a lot of things. Comfort is a slow death doesn't really leave room for comfort because it treats comfort as like a bad thing. And like, you should always be uncomfortable. You should always push yourself into discomfort. And I think that comes from me thinking this thing that I have, or that maybe we have together, this thing that we're going through is like an addiction. And I tend to treat this more like an addiction to where, well, I can't just have a little bit of cocaine because If it's I'm on vacation, I'm gonna have a little bit of cocaine. That's not how it works for me, because I want all of the cocaine. I'm Tony Montana with the pile of freaking cocaine sitting on
Say
my
hello to
desk.
my little friend.
You want to play rough? Okay, okay, I play rough. And that's
No,
that's
I
how
see
I
what you're
take it.
saying.
So it's like, do you feel like this thing is an addiction? Do you feel like you can like? Because I don't know that I can. I'm trying every once in a while. I'm trying, but I feel like every time I do, it kind of weakens my defenses and makes me more vulnerable to the snacking and to the little treats here and there. Even during this last 100 days, like, what is your thought process on like food addiction? Are we addicts? Like, and can addicts have a balance with like food?
Yeah. So I definitely I've started to think about this more recently again. And we actually chatted about it over our call the other day a
Yeah.
bit. And I definitely have been a person in the past who said like I don't think comparing, and this may be a bias to myself simply because I came from a family that struggled with a lot of addiction. So to me, comparing like food to like real hardcore drugs, I've always just been like I don't know how I feel about it. Simply because I've had that real world like kind of trauma experience with two parents who struggled with addictions more than just the average. Oh, we smoke a little weed now and then, which
Yeah.
back then that was something that people thought of as like a bad addiction, and nowadays it's much more open and accepted. That's a whole other podcast in itself. But yeah, so I think that's the reason why I don't necessarily immediately go to like, yeah, those two things are the same. One, because there's an aspect of like we don't require cocaine to live. You know what I mean? Like we do require food to live, right? And so and we do, cocaine isn't really, or like harder drugs aren't really like a hey, let's get together on Friday night and like yeah, we're like throughout the week multiple times people will be like, hey, do you want to come out for dinner? We're gonna go get drinks and some pizza or a burger. Like it's a much more ingrained part of our society and culture. And
Right.
I think those are, and I don't have any science to back this up, but I think it's a bit more confusing to the brain in that sense. You know what I mean? Because there's like you're fighting the natural instinct of like wanting to survive and have food. And I'm not saying you have to have food that tastes good to survive, right? Like we can survive on the most blandest basic foods, right? But I think that aspect of like, oh, like our society and culture has grown up eating and having like communal foods as like a part of how we communicate with each other and how we spend time with each other, that it's hard to then like immediately switch that to like, oh, I just can't do that anymore because of my struggle. So for me, I've kind of made it a vow to like finding balance between that. Like, I do think there is an addiction aspect for sure. So that's not me saying that like, no, I don't think it's an addictive thing. Like we talked about that recently. It's like, yeah, I definitely am noticing some addictive tendencies in the things that I've done in the past, especially with binge eating. But do I like immediately connect it to then I have to, oh, I can't even have a little bit of this? No, but like I said, in the past, it's been like I went too far in that direction. With it, like I would say, even like 6 months ago, I was too far in the direction where I was way too just like yeah, whatever, like and oh yeah, and I got way too comfortable. But I think that the true area that we all want to get to is where we can have a balance between the conviction and comfort. You know what I mean? Like it kind of comes in
Yeah.
waves. Because if you think about like the normal person, that's kind of how things are, right? Like it's not like a constant thought about, oh, if I go eat this kind of food or if I go out with these friends, like I have to worry about XYZ. It's kind of just like life happens, right?
Yeah.
And you've seen like, John's a great example of someone who's been able to kind of rewire that way of thinking. And we were talking about the other day how we would love to figure that out. Um, but obviously, that getting to that place, I don't think he really treats it like an addiction anymore, right? Like if he
No. Yeah. And that.
sometimes he'll have some extra stuff, sometimes he won't, and he's found that balance, right? And I think that's going to be much harder and much easier for different people depending on who you are. But yeah, for me, long story short, to wrap it up, is I think I fall in between. I fall in between. Like, and I do this with most things. Like, I'm very like a central minded person. I'm never really black and white. I'm a very gray area like kind of person. Like when I think about anything in life, it's like this does not always equal this, right? Like
Yeah.
things kind of happen for different reasons, and there's a balance. And like finding that area where you fit in between black and white is where I think that we all are going to ally someday.
Right. No, I think that's a good way of looking at it. I just don't know if that's the answer for me because
No, and that's okay though. Like
yeah,
and I think
right,
that's
right.
yeah.
Because
Like
I know how I feel when I do have food that I'm not supposed to, or like, right now we've got these freaking box of cookies in the house. Right, Meredith bought these box of cookies for vacation. She forgot to take them on vacation, so they didn't get eaten. So now we're at home, and I'm here with a box of cookies. There was a huge there was a huge crash upstairs.
Yeah, I heard that.
I don't know if could you hear that? Okay.
Like, oh.
I don't.
Hopefully
yeah,
everyone's okay.
He's fine.
I'll use
He's
this
fine.
opportunity to take a water break.
Dust it off. Hey, man. you just I mean you might as well have the whole water cooler. You know what I mean? That's so big. And that's
Dude,
obviously that is obviously too big.
I don't buy I hate using plastic. So I always buy like one of these until I I usually have them for a few months, and then I finally like forget and I buy another one or whatever.
You just don't like the comfort.
No, to remember to drink a gallon, I have to have all of it visually. Like I have to.
My man's got a legitimate for those listeners. My man has got a legitimate gallon-sized plastic tub. I'm not calling that a bottle. That is a tub.
Crystal Geyser.
From Crystal Geyser. Crystal Geyser, this guy. Holy cow.
It's Alpine
you know I only drink liquid death.
Liquid death.
I mean, do you carry that around? That seems insane, Danny. That seems insane.
Yeah, you can't.
Do you carry that? You just like walking around Target with your gallon jug of Crystal Geyser?
No,
that's just for the house.
I'm not full, bro. No, okay. I fill it up in the morning, and I know by the end of the day I have to finish this.
So just in the morning, I take 30 minutes. I take 30 minutes to fill up my huge tub of water. The neighbors complain. I take everyone's water pressure drops down. It's kind of like filling a pool every day.
Hey man, you said multiple times that you drink a gallon every day. So we're using.
But I drink it out of a Hydro Flask. I drink it out of a Hydro Flask like a damn person. You know
like
what I mean?
Civilized adult. You scum! How dare you bring that plastic behemoth onto this podcast?
Dude,
it's got a handle.
The week of Earth Day. The week of Earth Day, the plastic fiends are gonna come after you so hard.
That's why I said I only buy one I keep filling this up with tap water.
They're not gonna care, dude. They're gonna be like, he drinks out of plastic. He's the devil.
And then I also have see, this is the one I was using for the most part. Now we're just going on the water bottle. This is glass. I prefer drinking out of glass. Glass to me tastes better.
My man took that straight out of Cheesecake Factory. You just took that straight home with you.
This is straight out of.
What is that? I can't see. Oh, Home Goods. Let's go, dude. I freaking love Home Goods. I love Home Goods. Oh my, I'm a Home Goods fiend, dude. Home Goods, Marshalls, World Market. I've spent so much
We're going
money
on
and
such
time.
a tangent right now.
I know, but this is what we do here, dude. This is what we do here, bro. This is what we do here.
Welcome to the water podcast.
Bro, this is the important stuff. This is the stuff people want to know about, all right? They can tune into all the other heady podcasts out there, all right? This is the real shit. What are you drinking out of,
But yeah, anyways, back to
flask. No. Back to what we really need to talk about. I'm gonna get you a Hydro Flask. So I'm gonna get you one.
Do they make a gallon Hydro Flask? Because I would absolutely use that.
Dude, You fill it 3 times. What are we talking about? You
I
fill it 3
forget, bro. I
times.
have major ADD brain. I get caught up in life and I forget to drink water. Then I'm dehydrated and I'm close to death. You know what I mean? Like,
So dramatic. So dramatic. Okay, fine. I
hey,
don't want you to
dehydration
die.
is like
I don't want you to
small,
die so you can
closest we come
drink
to
whatever
death.
you want. All right. All right.
Liquid death.
Liquid death. Murder your thirst. Dude, my stepdad was over and he saw that and he thought it was so funny. He'd never heard of them before. And he was like, oh my God, it says murder your thirst on this can. He got such a kick out of it. And that's such a cool brand. And this is not sponsored, by the way. They sent me like
Geyser.
a couple. No, dude. No, that is not. If that brand had a voice, that's not it. Okay. Okay. Let's make that perfectly clear. It's not Crystal Geyser.
I had to take a lap.
I don't know what Crystal Geyser's brand voice is, but it's not that.
It's like, do,
Okay.
do, Crystal Geyser. Do.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly what it is. Anyway.
Okay.
Okay. So you don't think food is addiction and you think it's everyone's problem. Fine. Okay. We get it.
What? Wait. See? Black and white, Tony. Black and white.
I know. I'm black and white. I'm black and white, baby. Here's the thing. I feel like when you, and this might just be the intense part of me, and maybe I'll grow out of this, and maybe along this journey I will change my mind. But at a certain point, especially when you're fucking 400 pounds, you gotta be black and white with yourself. You can't like.
Oh yeah.
For me, I couldn't be like half in, half out. I had to go all. I had to like literally look myself in the mirror and be like, "Hey, man, this is black and white. You either are gonna do this or you're going to die early." Like soon, within the next 5 years, you will be dead, and that's about as black as white as you can get. Like, you do this or your life's over. So that's why it's like I know it doesn't always have to be that way, and I know especially after you lose some weight, and like now I'm the healthiest I've ever been, but I still kind of feel that way, and I don't know if that's ever going to change. Maybe it will, but that's just kind of where I'm at right now, and that's why I didn't want to go too ham in the on vacation. Like I said, though, am I having bites of stuff all the time? Yeah, I'm tasting things, and if it's like really, really good, I'll have a few bites, or maybe I'll have, share a cookie or share a piece of pie with Meredith or something like that. But for the most part, I'm just like, I don't need it, and it's not helping me. So I'll just pass on it, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
no,
anyway,
like I said,
that's kind of where I'm at.
I feel like, my ways of thinking definitely in the past like few years have drastically changed. So, no, I think, if that ends up being what works for you and it's going to be what works for a lot of people too. And then I feel, same thing on my side. It might be, the same for other people. So you just have to figure out what's the mentality you have to fall into for you to be the most successful and to be your best self. And I think that's what matters at the end of the day. Right. But I definitely think that, like I said, I think on each end of the spectrum, like you can get too crazy restrictive and too much like that, and you can also get way too comfortable. And so for me, my goal is right here.
Right.
Find a little
no, I
space
think that's fair. I think that's fair.
And
I think I have the same goal.
Yeah. And so that's and it might be like maybe I'm here and then you're over a little here, like, and that's okay. But yeah, I think that's the cool thing about this stuff is that like everyone kind of has found, like, there's definitely the fundamentals, right? Like obviously you need to better your nutrition. Obviously you need to find some sort of way of exercising every day to have something in your life that you enjoy, that gets you out and about, that gets your heart rate going. I think those are the keys. And then, you add in a few more stuff, and then everything on top of that is just what works best for you.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, how was your last month? How are you doing? How's Danny?
Good, man. The last month has basically been the first relax. basically
I,
been the
I,
first.
I've got like all these tools here, and I'm I announced it in the last podcast. I'm moving, and so I've just got literally. I know in the picture that you're seeing this at, this office looks very clean. If I were to just pan a little to the left or a little to the right, this place is in shambles, and it's killing me. It kills me. My OCD is flaring on all cylinders, and it's just, it sucks. But anyway, this isn't about that. This is about your last month, and I'm sorry for making so much ruckus.
I mean, there's like a giant leaf blower or lawnmower going outside my window. So if people can hear that, then here we are.
No, I don't think I
This
can hear
is
that. You're good.
this podcast, right? I've listened to a lot of your podcasts, and you let in a lot of things.
Whoa.
I recently went onto a binge phase of your podcast, and there's just like a few minutes sometimes where it's just like, what is happening?
How?
Where are we going? What's going
How
on?
dare you? How dare you? This is what this podcast is all about, though. I don't edit. I'll edit
I love it.
certain things. Like if I listen, I'm not gonna fart on camera. Okay, it's just never gonna happen. I'm always gonna edit that out. Sometimes I even let a few burps in. It is what it is. Okay, I want just genuineness here at all times. There's no editing. If we say something that's wild, hey, we said it. It's out there, baby. Okay.
sir.
Like when you said, you don't believe in no, I'm just kidding. I was going to go back on the food addiction thing. I'm kidding. Cause then certain people will not understand that's a joke and think it's real. Okay. Listen, let's
First
focus
month.
back. In here.
Yeah, good. So I recently hired a coach for technically for the first time, simply because I've never actually paid a coach in the past. This time I like legit, like just like anyone else would, approached someone I knew who is a coach and was like, I want to pay you for your time and I want to have that accountability. For me, where I'm at currently in life, I just have a lot of things going on, just like you probably, you can relate. And so I just need to take as much stuff that I don't need to think about and like have it done for me. So for my training and nutrition, I just was like, I just want someone to tell me what to do right now, because I do not have the energy to invest in like creating my own stuff and then also just like staying accountable to myself. And so yeah, started with Dylan Phaneuf, who's a previous friend of mine, Evo Fit, and he's a good dude. And so he's got my training and nutrition going, and we just finished the first week. And I'm down 3 pounds, which is not a lot, but for the first week is actually pretty
That's
good.
great. That's great. Yeah.
Yeah. And we just definitely noticed like so we do like, before photo, and then each week doing a new like side, front, back photo. And just in that first week already seeing a good amount of difference in just like my overall inflammation and water retention and stuff. So yeah, excited with how things are going so far. One thing that we just did our check-in, and he sent me kind of a voice memo to go over stuff. And I was kind of feeling like, oh, I could have done better this week. Like, I'm only down a few pounds, but like, and I had pretty much every day was good except one day where when my car broke down, and you saw my story I put up. The car I was using broke down, and that day was just super stressful. Didn't get as much work as I was supposed to get done, and I just was like, I want to eat stuff to make myself feel better. And so I went 6 days just like locked in, and then that happened, and I just was like, damn, man, like I just immediately when things go rough, just turn back to like, this is the thing I can find most comfort in. It wasn't as bad as it used to be. Like before, when I wasn't like knowing that I had like someone to keep myself accountable to, I would just like go until I felt satisfied, which would be a lot more calories than I had. I didn't even eat like any specific bad food. I just ate more than I was supposed to.
Right.
Before it would be like, oh, I'll just drive through whatever crappiest food's near me, buy a bunch and eat it. And so this time it was more like I just kind of had an extra meal. And one, like I had like some fries that I shouldn't have, but that's basically it. And so I just was like kind of bummed about that, and kind of communicated that to him. Just like, yeah, I had a decent week, but I had the one slip up day. And he was like, man, like it's week 1, bro. Like, like he's like, trust me, like I'm gonna keep on you. Like, and if this was to continue, then I would be like, hey, like what are we doing? Like we need to reel this in. What's going on? Like, and we chat about it more. But he's like, it's week 1, dude. You messed up one day, like, and you made progress, and I can see the progress you made. Your workouts have been crazy because I'm sending him workout clips as well. He's like, you just need to like I know you probably like he comes from a place of kind of being, I would say more towards your kind of way of thinking, and then also like he's involved in a lot of like more bodybuilding type stuff. So it's very like, intense and like style of training and nutrition. I'm working out much more like for muscle purposes than strength purposes like I have in the past, and I've actually been really enjoying it. So that's been like kind of a new way of training that I've been doing.
What is that? What does that mean? Muscle purposes instead of strength
Oh,
purposes.
hypertrophy. I just didn't want to use a fancy word, but like hypertrophy purposes. So like focusing more on like muscle growth, bodybuilding style of like working out than like typical like power building or like strength training kind of based. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So a lot more like focusing on the mind muscle connection, having tempo, going heavy, but not like
Heavier
super heavy where
weights,
I'm
low
doing like,
reps.
yeah, it's like eight to 15 reps is my range. And basically, with 2 left to failure. So I'm not going fully to failure, but like if I had to, I could do 2 more. That's when I stop. 3-second negative tempo. So in the eccentric part of the movement, I'm doing a 3-second count and then doing the concentric part, which is where you contract and like do the movement and then holding
Yeah.
that. So yeah, just a much more less power building, bench, deadlifts, squats style of lifting than I previously did, and now I'm more focused on that. But yeah, so he was basically like, I think maybe you thought I was gonna be super hardcore on you, but like I am, but like realistically, this is a great first week, and you just need to like, I want to definitely work on that kind of self talk going forward because he was just saying like how you just don't need to be that hard on yourself, like especially when that's gonna kill how motivated you're feeling and how easy it is for you to keep kind of trucking along. So yeah,
Yeah. Why are we so hard on ourselves? I mean,
yeah.
I
And I consider
had
myself
a,
like pretty decent on myself, but um,
yeah,
yeah,
I'm
I know that's
pretty
something we've talked about
ruthless.
before. That yeah, you're a little savage.
I'm
I'm on this
ruthless with
podcast.
myself.
I'm on this podcast to give you some love, Tony. Give you some love, bud.
Oh, well, I appreciate it.
When you
Yeah,
say
yesterday
bad things, I say extra good things. You know what I mean?
I thank you. I need that. Yeah, yesterday I was just like, dude, I was like having a freaking Comedy Central roast on myself. I just was just nonstop for some reason, and it's like no real reason. Like I just
Mm-hmm.
was just like, today's the day I'm going to decide to be my own bully again. And it's like, why am I doing this? I'm on day 98. I've had 98 great days where I'm just like crushing it and doing what I'm supposed to be doing and doing all this stuff. And it's like still that mental aspect of it where I'm just way too hard on myself in
Mm-hmm.
the back of my head. And it's like, it always
I'm
happens.
obviously obviously I'm not a psychologist, but there we can have like bad coping mechanisms. Like so maybe kind of like self sabotage, like mind wise. Maybe that's like your like kind of coping thing. Like when you get, you know,
Yeah, I mean that's that sounds right. Like yes, that is actually exactly what is happening. Yeah, I don't know, and like, dude, I left the house last night, and it always happens when there's like so much going on, something goes wrong. Like I had a computer issue, so I couldn't get work done. So I was like, basically behind a day of work this week. Had to stay up late getting work done on Tuesday, and then Wednesday my day was completely screwed because it was like up until like 3 o'clock in the morning working, making up for the time that I lost. Anyway,
mhm.
things don't go according to plan. I am stressed. I've got a lot of work. I've got family, obviously. I've got 2 kids. For some reason, yesterday, I mean, my son, I want to make sure he can't hear me. My son was just on a freaking another level, dude. Like he
It'd be like
was,
that some days.
dude, Meredith and I were like shocked. And there's a lot going on with him. He was just tired. He didn't get a nap. He just all those things, right? And
Hmm.
he was just on another level yesterday. And so it was like feeling like I was bad at my job because I was behind, feeling like I was bad at my weight loss journey because I didn't work out yet, feeling like I was a bad parent because my son was like having a really rough day and I didn't know how to help him. And like all those things add up, and you're just like, it's so easy to like take all that and be like, forget it. I'm done. I quit. I just need to, bury these sorrows in a bag of Jack in the Box and I'll start again tomorrow or something like that. And that's what I would do in the past. So like what I love about where I'm at now, at least even when I'm being ruthless with myself, the choice of not showing up for myself is completely gone. Like the choice, like the option of not showing up to the gym and still getting it done is gone. So I did go to the gym last night, and it was a late night, but I felt great about it afterwards, and I felt much better afterwards. Whereas like in the past, I wouldn't have done that. I would have just taken the L for the day and just like started over on the next day. But realistically, what would have happened is in the past, if it's a Thursday, it's like, well, I'll just start over on Monday, enjoy myself this weekend, and then start over again on Monday. But like that's how it goes, and that's how it's very easy to kind of keep falling into that trap. And so I guess to circle back, that's kind of why I'm so like, if I had more balance in my life, I feel like I would more easily go into those poor choices in those types of moments. Whereas like now it's just not even an option for me.
Yeah. One of the things I'm definitely still working on that. It's funny too, because I had worked through a lot of that kind of resorting to food as coping for a while. And then the last 2 years, it just became a habit again because the last 2 years were insane. And so, it just kind of is just kind of like a habit I'm gonna have to overcome again. But yeah, definitely the bright kind of win, this last month was getting back on track, and as well as kind of having that reassurance, like, hey, yeah, you had one bad day, and even that like wasn't nearly as bad as like your previous bad days have been. And so for me, that's like kind of victories I have to remember right now is that instead of overeating 3,000 calories, I only ate over 1,200 calories,
Right.
And
That is,
as long as
and it's huge.
Yeah. As long as that continues to go down, then I'm going to see progress, and just got to stay with it and stay at it. But one thing I also wanted to do with these, and we talked about it a bit, is like kind of one thing that maybe we share our honest like failures of the time. So I guess mine kind of was that one day of just kind of resorting back to that habit of, today was crappy, and it just, man, it's like, it's wild because I know exactly, like before, at least it was like with binging, it was like something I felt very like little control over. But it's almost bad now because like I feel like I do have control and I'm still making the decision. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I knew exactly what I was doing. I was like, today's been shitty and I want to eat because I know that will make me feel better. And like,
and does it make you feel better even afterwards though? Like, is that like,
it just to me, it like just takes my mind away from it for like that period of time. And then afterwards I do, you go through that phase of like, oh man, now things were crappy, but then now things are almost even crappier. But it definitely, it's not like immediate that I remember, like kind of go to that way of thinking. But it did happen where once my coach was basically like, hey, like, yeah, like it's going to happen. First week, not big of a deal. Let's just like always keep improving. And so that's what basically I'm just focusing on right now is like, yeah, I could kind of dwell on it and let it be, but I know exactly what I did. I know what I could have done better. And then I know going forward what I'm going to remember. And that's kind of one thing with being able to kind of know what choices I'm making and why I'm making them. At least I can remember then, hey, I've been here before. This is what happened last time. How can I do better this time? And so that's what I'm going to go into next time with. And hopefully it comes better. Sometimes maybe it won't, but that's what I'm kind of focusing on right now as my training's locked in. My overall work day to day right now is pretty locked in. And so just have to keep the nutrition going. And that's kind of just the one thing I have to keep improving at, and which has always kind of been the thing I've always had to improve at. I've always been pretty active and everything. So that's, I'm just going to keep my head up, and that's what I'm going to focus on.
Dude, okay, I've got a big failure to fess up to here.
Okay.
So part of the Relentless 100, one of the things that I've like set out for myself that I want to do is I can't get over it. I can't get over it.
You
dude.
just about made me spit all over my computer.
Bro, I didn't make you do anything. You're the one drinking out of an Office Depot sized water container, okay? That is water for 50.
Man.
And you're drinking out of it like I am drinking
next time
out
we
of a
do
can.
this, I'm gonna print out a picture of you and just slap it on here. That way, every time I drink, you just see your face being like,
Dude, it's surprising. It's surprising.
it's
Because
jarring.
when you
Is
lift
that what you're
it,
saying?
it's
It's not a jar. That wasn't a pun.
listen, that was a pun, and you knew it was a pun. So
It's
you
not a
tell me
jar.
you
Like, it's all gone.
already
No,
drank
it was half
today, then.
full. It was half full.
Hey man, okay.
Wait.
Then if it was half full, you could get a fucking Hydro Flask and fill it, right? Right? Because that's the same thing, dude. Are you crazy? No, it was half full. Oh, you mean so it was Hydro Flask sized?
You just like you were like your reasoning just made no sense.
Just went right out the window. Immediately, you just cut yourself down.
Because I forgot yesterday to drink it all.
Dude, you can't tell me you can't have a normal sized water bottle because you forgot. You'll forget to drink water, and then say you forgot to fill it, so you just it don't make sense.
Forgetting things, bro, is the story of my life. I forget to forget things.
Oh my gosh!
You're lucky I'm
You gotta
even
get
here
your water
right now.
bottle.
You're really lucky I'm even here. The fact that I remember to do this.
Oh, dude. Okay.
Would this one
start-
would make you feel better if I just drank from this?
I mean, yeah, I think so. I think so.
Or it has to be a Hydro Flask.
No, it doesn't have to be a Hydro Flask. How dare you? You can
Thou
drink
must
whatever
drink
you-
from the hydrogen flask to be present on this podcast.
I'm just saying, if you want, why not have the best? You know what I mean? And Hydro Flask is the best. Speaking of our sponsors, no.
What about
it'd be
Yeti?
so dope. Yeti. Well, Yeti's. I feel like Yeti's just expensive. I feel like Yeti is just like
Hydro
popular for
Flask
the
isn't
name.
expensive?
I mean, bro, it's like $40 for a water bottle that you have for. I mean, I've had mine for like a year and a half. $40.
I think I had one. I think I had
You know
one.
what I mean? It's expensive, but it's not. I mean, it's $40, and it keeps my water cold all day long. Anyway, I'm not gonna listen. Okay, I'm not gonna shame you for your ridiculously sized water bottle. You drink whatever you want to drink out of. Okay, that's fine.
Next-
Am I going to send you
next-
memes? Am
next
I going to
week,
send you memes and pictures
I'm
of me
gonna-
drinking like out of a trash can or something? Yes.
I'm
Yes,
gonna
of course.
find on Amazon like the smallest water bottle you can buy, and next time I'm just gonna be like,
Just a little, just pinky out every
like
time.
you're like talking about something super serious, and I'm just like, yeah.
Oh, and you not even mention it. How dare you? How dare you?
And you'll just be
Oh
like,
my gosh.
oh god. Okay, anyways, your failure. When did you suck at?
My failure. My failure. Dude, let me find a water tower. I swear to God, let me find a water tower, and I'm making a meme with you drinking out of it. You know what I mean?
Ridiculous.
Next to the big ass water tower. Okay. So meditation was a part of the Relentless 100, and I haven't meditated in like a week and a half. Haven't done it. Haven't done it once. And it's supposed to be every day, dude. And I haven't done it once.
What's the definition of like meditation in this instance?
In this instance, sitting down, taking 10 minutes, and doing a follow-along headspace meditation.
Okay, cool.
So it's pretty clear. Like,
Yep.
I can't just be like, oh, well, I'm sitting here in my thoughts. No. You have to pull out the app. You have to put your phone on silent. And you have to do 10 minutes meditation. And I haven't done that in a week, over a week. And that sucks, dude. Like, and this is the thing that I was thinking about last night when I was like being so down on myself and being all like, bleh, and, just being super, super mean to myself. And I was like, oh, hey, asshole, maybe it's because you haven't done a meditation in a week and a half, and meditation is literally what saved your life. So like, of course you're not going to feel good in your head because you haven't done the one thing that has worked for your mental health, and that's meditate. And I don't know why, I put an importance on sleep now. I put an importance on my hydration now. I've always put an importance on nutrition and fitness, but like the meditation, for some reason this time, that has been the thing that is like kind of fallen off as I go. Okay. And I feel like that's been a huge part of how I feel and how I'm feeling. And so I feel like definitely in this next month, even though the Relentless 100 is over, I want to get back to that importance of meditation, where that's almost the most important thing I do that day, because everything else will stem from that. Because if I meditate, I'm happier, I'm more focused, I'm more calm, and I'm nicer to myself. And so I feel like the more I do that, the more consistent I am with that, the better off I'll be. And that's just been a big failure of mine the last like week and a half.
Okay. I mean, it's not bad. So, like,
I mean, yeah.
It's hey, you're stepping into accountability right now, which is awesome. I think the important thing to focus on is the fact that like, is less so about the like you missing it, but more so of like what's being affected because you're missing it. You know what I mean? Like, I think shifting that focus from, oh, I missed this, that's my failure, to like, yes, it is, but also like the benefits of it that I'm not getting, that's almost the biggest failure, because I'm doing like a disservice to myself because I know these things help me. You know what I mean?
Right.
Which obviously you're probably thinking about, but I think it's a way to think about it in a way like, oh yeah, if I tell myself like I got to do this because of this reason rather than like I just missed it,
Yeah.
But yeah,
dude, and I still haven't meditated. I didn't meditate today either.
And I
already worked out today.
Are you going to tomorrow?
No, forget that. I'm going to do it right after this podcast. I'm going to go sit down for 10 minutes.
There we go. Even better. Do even better than I just said. That's fine. Just, always one up of me. It's cool. It's no problem. Fine.
No. It's just like,
I'm just going to take these sleep gummies and just.
How dare you? It's always like, I feel like, a lot of people are like, Tony, I need help with weight loss. I want to help. And I give them the stuff. And I'm like, all right, cool. Thank you so much. I'm going to start on Monday. And I'm like, no, bitch. You're going to start right fucking now. I took time to like respond and like get you focused. Now you've got me on your team. And when I'm on your team, I'm on your team all the way. So like if I'm responding to you, I'm checking in with you. I want to see, okay, like what are you doing today then? Like this is not a Monday situation. There's no need to wait until Monday. Start right now. It doesn't have to be go out and train for a marathon today, but it's like go for a walk around the block. Drink your water. Go meditate for 10 minutes. Now you're doing it today. And that's the type of mindset shift change that that has been so important for me, and I think is so important for other people. It's like, stop putting it off. I
need to do better at that. I was used to using like the weekend before as an excuse, like I'm gonna eat like crap for 2 days because I'm starting a diet on Monday, and then the diet would last
everybody
2 days,
does that,
and then I'd be right back to square one, but worse. Haha.
Yeah, and then you do it again. You're like, okay, but this week I'm really gonna start. So this week I'm really gonna go hard, and then you have 5 weeks like that. And
you ever watch Philly DeFranco?
Yes.
He always has a part where he's like, "Don't be stupid." That's how I feel.
Yeah.
Whenever I do that, I'm like, "Oh, just the weekend before." No, don't be stupid. Yeah,
that's funny. Yeah. Don't be stupid. Start right now. So I'm not going to meditate tomorrow. I mean, I am going to meditate tomorrow, but I can meditate today. I mean, it's freaking 1:53. Plenty of daylight left to meditate. So, going to do that today. California time, yeah. Hey, man, listen. This was great. This was a great check-in. I think this is the first. Excuse me. We're keeping it. You see, we keep things like that. I had a little thing to myself there, a little liquid death coming back up to punch me in the throat, and we're keeping it because you know what? I crushed this thing. Liquid death. That's hydration right there, baby. Murdered my thirst.
Yeah, man.
I really hope they send me. Stop. Stop. Put that water tank down, you
Apologize to all
mule.
the headphone users.
Unbelievable. You carrying that around, dude, like you're going on a caravan. Like, oh, so funny. So funny.
I feel like that's been the main
I mean, that's what
topic
people
of this
take.
whole podcast.
That's what people take camping. You know what I mean? Like, you're not camping. Okay? You're just living.
Tony, it's okay.
No, if you know anything of no, you will start to know things about me.
Dude,
And
this is what's gonna happen
here's-
later, okay? This is what's gonna happen later. You're gonna be like in the kitchen, like, right, making your food for your child. You just be like, and your wife's gonna come in and be like, are you okay? And you're gonna be like, Danny's freaking water bottle, man. Like,
Dude,
I can't get over it. I'm gonna lose my mind. I'm shipping
You don't
him a Hydro
understand.
Flask yesterday.
You don't
And
understand
that's how I
how
weasel
accurate
$40
that
out of
is. You don't understand how accurate that is. I will take the smallest thing and I will hyperfixate on it, and this will just become the thing that I choose. This is the hill I choose to die on now, just today.
This is why I'm going to the gym today.
Dude, it's
Danny's
like
stupid ass water bottle.
I just everything has to be just so with me, and I just am that way, and I apologize. But this is, you know what? Damn it, it's too big of a water bottle, and you know that, and it's fine. We'll just move on. Okay, this was a fun episode.
It's going to be like a reoccurring event for every podcast ever now. But okay.
You're going to give me an eye twitch. You're going to give me an eye twitch.
You're going to have an embolism.
Thank you for coming on.
How do you know what I mean?
Danny, I'm trying to wrap this show up.
Okay.
Let's wrap it up. Listen, we're doing this every month. We're checking in with each other. We're holding each other accountable. At the end of each month, we're going to go over our wins, our losses, what we learned, what we're taking away. And you, the viewer, please comment on this video. Let us know what you need help with. Let us know your wins and losses.
I think it's time. I think it's the perfect moment, bro.
Okay.
The familiar word. The phrase. What is it?
Shit. This right. Dude, I almost always forget it every episode. Isn't that sad? Because it's like my favorite thing.
Dude, I'm not going to lie. The first episode you forgot it, I was offended. I almost called you.
I know. I
almost called you. I was like, Tony,
I want a familiar word right now.
You spoke all about being a pile of trash because that person filming in the gym, and now you're the pile of trash. You forgot the familiar phrase.
Dude, talk about hyperfixating. I was very hyperfixated about that.
You were heated.
I
agree with you though, 100%. I think that's the most dumbest thing people can do.
It's crazy, dude. It's crazy, especially mainly because it was someone that I knew. I was like even more offended. Anyway, I don't need to get fixated on that again. Okay.
Should we make the familiar phrase giant water bottles?
Dude. Let's just make let's not make it so obvious. Let's make it a little subtle, and then also a little helpful to the people, so that way you remember the importance of hydration. So let's just make it hydration, because we all know Danny's super hydrated. Okay, he's overly hydrated, this guy. So hydration is the familiar phrase, and it is the focus for this week. Let's just all drink some more water and see if we feel better. I know I say drink a gallon of water every day, and I think I do, but I think there's some days where I miss it and I forget. And I think because I don't track my water, don't start. Okay? Don't start.
Oh, you forget?
There's some days where I'm like, did I drink my Hydro Flask twice or 3 times today? I don't remember. Don't start. Stop.
Okay.
Because I'll be caught dead in the desert, dehydrated, before I carry around the jug that you are carrying around. Okay, and that's fine.
And if I discover that after this podcast, the Hydro Flask has a gallon jug, I don't care if it's $150. I'm buying it and shipping it to you. So that every podcast you have to drink from that giant Hydro Flask jug with little thing.
Dude, are you insane? I would use that as a kettlebell. You know what I mean?
Like,
that thing is so big.
The Hydro Flask symbol. That's it right there, right? Kind of. Pretty close.
I don't even know because I always cover mine up with stickers, so I block it. I'm not giving them any free advertising. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Also, I mean, to keep it safe because people are going to steal it because it's a commodity at that point.
Well, that's true. Not giving them free advertising. I just talked about Hydro Flask for the last hour. Listen, thank you for doing this. I appreciate it. Familia phrase, represent in the comments, hydration. And more so, though, let's really talk about, like, what are your wins? What are your losses? And then Danny and I will go through those comments, and we will talk about it next episode. And, judging
we'll try
on...
to respond to the best that
sure.
we can. And then, I think, eventually we'll probably want to pull questions from there. Right?
Definitely.
That's what usually, what you kind of got going on. So I think that's good. I think we can kind of maybe do like last 10 minutes of some rapid fire questions or some deep question that we can get into. All that stuff down below.
Yes, sir.
Yo,
dude, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Any big things you got coming up that you're looking forward to next month?
I'm going back to Canada for the first time.
Oh, Canada. Oh, I don't.
That was
close. Canada, my home of maple syrup. And Tim
Stop.
Hortons coffee.
Do you know what it's called?
Tim Hortons?
When you order Tim Hortons with 2 sugar and 2 cream, what do you call it?
No idea.
Just try. Think about it.
Oh, okay. A horty-torty?
I mean, it's not super far away, but
Are
it
you
is
kidding?
far away.
I was joking.
It's a double.
Oh. Well, that's very far away. Danny,
Horty
why would you
torty,
make
double
me
double.
think?
They still got like hubba bubba.
Okay.
You know?
Right. Hubba bubba. Hey guys, listen, thank you for listening. You've definitely fallen off now.
Yeah. But anyways,
you're going back to Canada. That is very exciting. Exciting.
Just for the weekend, just to get my car. But I haven't been back in a
Perfect
while,
timing too.
Gonna visit some family. Yeah. I mean, I would have liked to have a car for the next month, but we're gonna be lifting it up. So thanks. Shout out to Lyft.
You're going to be taking a lift up to Canada?
No. Like, I'm going to be lifting to my jobs for the next month.
Oh, I thought you were literally like, hey.
Expensive-ass lift.
Listen, we're going to another country, okay?
Oh, okay.
It would be the most epic Lyft Uber ever. Okay, well, that's good. You're going back to Canada. You're getting your car. That's big things. Next month. Next month for me, it's May, right?
Yeah.
It's
my
May?
birthday.
Yeah.
My birthday's coming up.
Congrats. What day?
May 9th.
May 9th. All right. Well, we will try to remember that. I'll get you a water bottle sent directly to your house. What do I have going on next month? Let's see. I'm really just going to be packing for this move. Mm-hmm. Next month is going to be a big month for us to pack and get ready. And
I feel for you. Moving is the worst, dude.
Dude, the worst. The worst. And moving from California all the way to Texas, so far, dude.
Yeah.
Oh,
then you got to get all your like address changes and state change stuff. And
dude, it's going to be brutal. But we're doing it.
No, thank you.
We're doing it.
No, thank you.
All right, thank you guys for listening. I appreciate it, and we'll be back next week with another episode, and we'll be back with Danny in a month. Peace.